Hello, my dear students. Once again, welcome to your online class. So today in this video, we'll be discussing about the first chapter of your chemistry textbook, that is the language of chemistry. So this chapter deals with the naming of the elements, the compounds, the radicals, the valencies, and also we'll be discussing about the relative atomic mass and the relative molecular mass. So whenever you go through the chapters of the chemistry or physics, you always please refer to the latest reduced syllabus. So these are the things that is mentioned in the reduced syllabus of your class 9. So first talking about the symbols, we have already studied what are the symbols. So symbol is nothing but it's just the representation of the element. The symbolic representation of the element is known as a symbol. Okay, just like the hydrogen, it is written as H. Okay, so this is the symbol of hydrogen. So whenever I see H, so what does it represent? So this tells us that this is the symbol of an hydrogen. Second, it also tells us about that the H represents it's a one atom of hydrogen. So similarly, we have the chemical formula also. So the chemical formula is the symbolic representation of the name of the compound of a given substance. Like if I have a sodium chloride and if I write NaCl, okay, so what does it represent? It represents the name of a compound, that is a sodium chloride. So it also tells us that the one molecule of sodium chloride, it contains one atom of sodium and one atom of chlorine. So that is what is basically mean by the symbol, just the shorthand representation or the symbol of the given elements of the compound is simply known as the symbol. Okay, so it's very necessary for you to remember the symbol of the elements up to the atomic number 20. And also there are many important compounds, okay, for which you must remember the formulas. Now coming to the second category or the second topic, that is the valency. So till now we have studied that the valency is the combining capacity of a given element or an atom. But if we go into the deep, so what does the valency actually means is, the valency, it means that the number of atoms, sorry, the number of electrons the atom can donate or receive during the chemical reaction is known as valency. And depending on the number of atom, whether it loses or gains, the element can be classified as a metals and a non-metals. So if any of the element, if in the outermost cell, if it has the electron, one or two or three electrons, then it is said to be metal. Okay, so the metal, they usually have one, two, or three electrons in the outermost orbit. So that means each of these metals having a valency, one means it can lose one electron during the chemical reaction. If an atom can lose two electrons, then we say the valency is 2. Similarly, in case of non-metal, so non-metals are those which either has a 5, 6 or 7 electron in the outermost orbit. So during the chemical reaction, so what do they do? So it's impossible for an atom to lose 5, 6 or 7. So instead, what do they do? In order to attain that inert gas configuration, so they will gain some electron. Like here, it can gain 3, here it can gain 2, and it can gain 1. So these are the one. So the substances which can gain electron is known as a, what they are known as? They are known as non-metals. So the metals and the non-metals can be classified according to its valency. Sorry, not valency also, and according to its valence electron. So the one that can donate electron, they are known as a metal, and then that can receive an electron is known as a non-metals. Now coming to the fourth topic, that is the radical. So before understanding the radical, so what is ion? So what is the ion? It's a charged atom, like in case of a sodium. Okay, sodium, what is the electronic configuration of sodium? It is 2, 8 and 1. So the sodium, it can lose one electron. So sodium can lose one electron and then it can become a Na plus. Similarly, a calcium, what it can do? It can lose two electrons and can become Ca plus plus. Okay, so these, when the atom they loses or gains electron, they become a positively or a negatively charged particle and they are known as a ion. Okay, so ion is a charged atom. Now coming to the radical, what is a radical now? The radical is a group of atom. It can also be a single atom or a group of atom that acts as a single unit. either with a positive charge or with a negative charge. So they are known as a radicals. So we have a radicals like N ammonium radical NH4 plus. Okay. So the radical with the positive sign, the positive charge in them is known as a basic radical. Okay, and there are some of the radicals which has a negative charge in them, and they are known as a acid radical, like OH minus we have. Okay, or even COOH minus as well. So all those radicals which has a negative charge in them is known as a acid radical. Okay, so the negative charge is a acid and the positive is a basic. So now it must be clear that what are the radicals? The radicals are the atoms or a group of atoms of the same element or from the different element which acts as a single unit with either a positive charge or with a negative charge. So compound we have already discussed. The compound is a substance which is formed by the combination of more than one kind of elements mixed in a fixed proportion. And coming to the sixth and the seventh topic, so we have the relative atomic mass, which can also be written as RAM. Okay, and the relative molecular mass can be written as RMM. So what is the relative atomic mass? So the relative atomic mass is the number of times the given atom of an element is heavier than 1/12th part of the carbon 12 isotope. So what does it mean? It means that if you take a atom of an carbon 12. Okay, and then if you divide it into 12 parts, how many parts? You divide it into 12 parts, and then you take a one part. Okay, and you compare the mass of an atom of a given element with the mass of this 1/12th part of the carbon 12 isotopes, and that is known as the relative atomic mass. Similarly, if you compare the mass of the 1/12th part of the carbon 12 isotopes with the given molecule, with the mass of the given molecule, then it is known as the relative molecular mass. So this is a very short chapter, but very important. And what is the most important here is naming the compounds. So to name the compounds, you must learn the table that is given in your book that tells us about the name of some of the acid radicals and the basic radicals. Okay, now one more important topic coming to the term valency. Okay, so valency is the number of electrons, okay, gaining or losing during the chemical reaction. But we see that some of the elements, they exhibit variable valency. Okay, sometimes the valency shown is 2, sometimes it is 3, sometimes it is 1, sometimes it is 2. So some of the atoms, it exhibits variable valency because during the chemical reaction, some of the atoms, they have the capability to lose the electron from their penultimate cell as well. So the penultimate means the inner cell, not only the outermost cell, but also from the inner cell of an atom. So that's why they exhibit the variable valency. Okay, so now the name given to the variable valency is like the lower valency is given as OUS. Okay, and the higher valency is IC. Like for example, when the iron, what is the valency of iron? Suppose if the valency of the iron here is 2 and the oxygen here, we know that the valency of oxygen is already 2. So sometimes when it combines with the oxygen, the iron exhibits the valency as 2 and then we write it as FeO. Okay, so this is the lower valency. So therefore the name of this compound I can write is a ferrous oxide. Okay, OUS means the lower 2. But sometimes when it combines with the oxygen, okay, so it exhibits the valency of 3. Okay, so then we get the formula of Fe2O3. Here, the iron is exhibiting a valency 3, which is the higher valency. So we write FeRRIC, ferric oxide. So if it is higher valency, it is IC. If it is lower, it is OUS. Similarly, we have for the copper and even for the mercury, even for lead. Okay, so you must learn about this variable valency as well. So this is all mentioned in the reduced syllabus of your chemistry that is related to the first chapter. So please try to memorize that table and also try to name the compounds given in your book. Thank you.